What started out as a week-long space mission has now turned into 35 days and counting. But today, the Boeing Starliner crew held their first press conference from space.
I have a feeling, I have a real good feeling in my heart that the spacecraft will bring us home, no problem.
Human spaceflight is not easy in any regime, and there have been multiple issues with every spacecraft that's ever been designed, and that's the nature of what we do.
And it has been a rocky road for the Starliner. First, there were several delayed launches, and now a series of thruster failures and helium leaks. Joining us now is retired NASA astronaut Leroy Chiao. He's been to space 4 times, so can speak on this issue for sure. Great to see you again, Leroy. When we hear that the Starliner crew is up there indefinitely, to be honest, it sounds pretty scary, but what's the reality of their situation?
Well, the reality is the Starliner has suffered these problems. They're relatively minor. The bottom line is Butch and Sunny are in no danger. If they needed to come back on the Starliner immediately, that can be done. The Starliner can bring them home safely now. The fact is the helium leaks are about 100 times smaller than NASA can tolerate. The thrusters, yes, 5 of the 28 failed during approach and docking. 4 have been re-enabled. But, NASA's being a little extra conservative and taking their time. They're getting as much data as possible because the service module, the piece where they've had all these problems, that part doesn't come back. It detaches and burns up in the atmosphere before the capsule comes back through. And so NASA just wants to get as much data as possible before they go ahead and do that. The term indefinitely, that's an unfortunate choice of words, I think, on NASA's part. Certainly implies a bigger issue than I think is there. And, NASA didn't do themselves any favors by choosing those words. Hopefully we'll hear from them soon and they'll set a return date and, one that they can stick to.
Hey, do me a favor and kind of peel back the curtain a little bit for our viewers. You know that I covered space exclusively for about 8 years, and I've talked to you in the past. How normal is it for a mission to not go according to plan?
Well, flight tests are flight tests for a reason. You don't expect everything to go perfectly well. Some go better than others. This one, fortunately, no major glitches, but this program has had its share of problems. I mean, in development problems, it's way late. It's got issues. It's had issues on its former flight tests. I'm sorry, excuse me.
That's right. Hey, real quick though, but when you talk about problems, Leroy, when you talk about problems, I'm sorry to cut you off. You were part of the shuttle program, and we all know, unfortunately, the catastrophic problems that had. Every time that you guys launched into space, I remember they would take a close look at the belly of the orbiter, at the heat tile specifically. How confident were you when you were up in space on the countless engineers here on the ground who were doing the work behind the scenes that we don't see to make sure that you returned home safely?
So, yeah, of course, we rely on the engineering teams, the mission management team, the operations team, everyone. And, we trust them. We have to. And they do their very, very best. And, of course, there were lapses. And unfortunately, in hindsight, mistakes made in the Columbia and the Challenger accident and the Apollo 1 fire, for that matter. All 3 accidents where astronaut lives were lost. But we learn from those mistakes and we move forward. And that's what we do. And so I don't think we're anywhere near that situation with the Starliner, but it has been a little bit of a star-crossed program. And so hopefully Butch and Sunny will be able to come home soon and all will go well. We
got about 10 seconds or less. You were also part of the Augustine Commission, which basically examined the future of space. Do you think these Starliner issues will have a negative impact on space exploration moving forward?
Well, it's unfortunate. SpaceX has been very successful. They've been flying astronauts to and from ISS for almost 3 years. Starliner was supposed to be the backup. They were supposed to be first, and now they're not. And, fortunately, it is another path, and it's good to have more than one way to get there. So
all right.
I think Starliner will do fine along with SpaceX capsules.
All right, Leroy Chiao, great to see you again, and thank you for your insight as always.